For many of us, he wasn't just a TV character. He was a part of our childhood. With a slingshot in his back pocket and that unforgettable grin, Jay North embodied a generation's idea of innocence, curiosity, and harmless chaos. As Dennis the Menace, he became a household name, charming millions across living rooms from coast to coast. But behind the laughter and lighthearted pranks was a boy growing up in the harsh spotlight of fame. And now, that voice from television's golden age has gone silent. Jay North, the beloved child star who gave life to one of America's most iconic comic strip characters, has passed away, and today we take a moment not just to mourn his loss, but to honor the life, the legacy, and the memory of a true cultural icon. The world of television has lost one of its most recognizable childhood faces. Jay North, who rose to fame as the lovable, yet mischievous Dennis Mitchell in Dennis the Menace, has passed away. He died peacefully at the age of 73 at his home in Lake Butler, Florida, after a private and courageous battle with colon cancer. The announcement was met with deep sorrow from fans and friends alike, many of whom had followed Jay's journey from TV screens to real-life advocacy. Spokesperson confirmed that Jay was surrounded by loved ones in his final moments. He is survived by his wife, Cindy, and 3 stepdaughters, who have asked for privacy as they grieve the loss of a man they say was deeply kind, fiercely loyal, and forever proud of the role that changed his life. While Jay's passing may come as a quiet end to a career that began with so much fanfare, his influence was anything but quiet. His portrayal of Dennis, a freckle-faced troublemaker with a heart of gold, made him a household name in the 1960s and left a mark that transcended generations. And now, that chapter has gently closed. But his memory? It's forever etched into the hearts of those who laughed, grew up, and saw a little of themselves in that boy with the sling in his pocket and the sparkle in his eye. Jay North was born on August 3, 1951, in the heart of Hollywood, California. A fitting beginning for a child who would soon be seen in homes across America. Raised by a single mother who worked in the film industry, Jay was exposed to television and film sets early on. That exposure sparked something in him, an early fascination with acting and performance. He began appearing on local Los Angeles children's programs and variety shows before he was even in grade school. He wasn't just photogenic, he had a spark, a camera-ready charm that producers quickly noticed. But it was at just 6 years old that Jay North landed the role that would define his life. Dennis Mitchell in the CBS sitcom Dennis the Menace. Based on the beloved comic strip by Hank Ketchum, the show premiered in 1959, and almost overnight, Jay became one of the most recognizable faces in America. His portrayal of Dennis, equal parts troublemaker and sweetheart, resonated with both kids and adults. Viewers didn't just laugh at his antics, they fell in love with the boy who meant well, even when his plans fell apart. Jay's mischievous grin, slingshot in hand, and high-energy delivery made him a household name. The show ran for 4 successful seasons until 1963, cementing Jay's status as one of the most iconic child stars in television history. But with that early fame came pressures and expectations far beyond his years. And behind the scenes, Jay's life was often much more complicated than it appeared on screen. While Jay North's smile lit up screens across the country, behind the scenes, that same young boy was enduring a very different reality. During the production of Dennis the Menace, Jay was placed under the care of his aunt and uncle, legal guardians assigned to accompany him on set. But rather than offering love and protection, they ruled his life with control, fear, and cruelty. Jay would later reveal that his guardians inflicted both emotional and physical abuse behind closed doors. They monitored his every word. They isolated him from other children, and any mistake, on or off set, was often met with harsh punishment. To the world, Jay was living a dream, but for Jay himself, childhood was something he never truly got to experience. The weight of that trauma only grew heavier after the sudden death of Joseph Kearns, the actor who played Mr. Wilson. Kearns had become a source of comfort and mentorship for young Jay, stabilizing presence during long, demanding filming days. When Kearns passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage in 1962, Jay was just 10 years old and already struggling with the pressures of fame. The loss devastated him. The following season brought a noticeable shift, both in the show's chemistry and in Jay's spirit. He would later describe that time as one of deep confusion, grief, and isolation. From the outside, Dennis the Menace remained a family favorite, but for Jay, it had become a place of silence and sadness, and those scars, though hidden, would follow him for decades to come. After Dennis the Menace ended in 1963, Jay North faced the difficult challenge of redefining his career, breaking away from the role that had made him famous. Like many child stars, Jay found it hard to escape the shadow of his early success, but he continued to act, proving that his talent extended far beyond one iconic character. In the years that followed, Jay made guest appearances on a number of well-known TV series. He showed up in episodes of Wagon Train, The Man from UNCLE, and My 3 Sons, exploring more mature roles as he grew older. But his his biggest post-Dennis success came with the 1966 adventure film Maya. The movie was so well received that it spun off into a television series of the same name, giving Jay another opportunity to headline a show. As the demand for live-action roles began to fade, Jay made a transition to voice acting, a medium that allowed him to perform without being visually typecast. He lent his voice to characters in beloved Saturday morning cartoons like Arabian Nights and The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show, reaching an entirely new generation of viewers. While these projects didn't bring the same level of fame as his earlier years, they showed Jay's versatility and his deep love for storytelling. Decades later, in a full-circle moment of both humor and humility, Jay appeared as himself in the 2003 cult comedy Dickie Roberts, former child star. Surrounded by other iconic faces from television's past, Jay's cameo was both a wink to his legacy and a subtle nod to the realities of growing up in Hollywood. Through every phase, on screen and off, he carried the weight of early fame, while still finding ways to evolve, contribute, and connect. By the late 1970s, Jay North had taken a step few would have expected from a former television star. He left the bright lights of Hollywood and enlisted in the United States Navy. In 1977, he began his service, seeking purpose, discipline, and perhaps a sense of normalcy after years in the entertainment spotlight. He was honorably discharged in 1979. Though the Navy brought a fresh start, Jay continued to face the long shadows of his past. He never sought fame again. Instead, he sought peace. That journey led him to Lake Butler, Florida, a quiet town far removed from cameras and casting calls. There, he took on a new role, this time not as an actor, but as a correctional officer with the Florida Department of Corrections. In many ways, it was the ultimate transformation, from a mischievous child star on TV to a man maintaining law and order within prison walls. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't televised, but it was real and it was honest work. For Jay, this chapter represented something he had long been denied: control over his own life. He wasn't Dennis anymore. He was Jay North, and in that quiet town, doing quiet work, he began to find a kind of redemption, away from scripts, stages, and the expectations of a fame he never asked for. Though Jay North stepped away from Hollywood, he never forgot what it had given him or what it had taken. In his adult years, Jay became a quiet advocate for others who shared his path. Former child stars navigating fame, trauma, and identity in the public eye. He joined forces with Paul Peterson, another former child actor, to support the organization A Minor Consideration, a group dedicated to protecting the rights, mental health, and futures of young performers. Jay didn't just lend his name. He lent his story, his experience of being adored by millions, yet privately suffering, became a powerful reminder that childhood stardom often comes at a steep cost. He once said in an interview, "I'll always be Dennis to the public, but I had to learn how to be Jay to myself." That journey, reclaiming identity from a fictional character, was one of Jay's most important roles. He spoke at events, mentored struggling young actors, and continued reminding the world that behind every child star is a child first. In that work, Jay found something more valuable than applause. He found purpose. His advocacy wasn't about bitterness, it was about healing, and for those who came after him, he became not just a symbol of what once was, but of what still could be: growth, grace, and the power to start again. When news of Jay North's passing was confirmed, it didn't just travel through the headlines, it echoed across generations. For many, this wasn't just the loss of an actor, it was the loss of a piece of childhood. Tributes from fans, peers, and pop culture historians poured in, each one painting a fuller picture of the boy who once made America smile. Lori Jacobson, a longtime friend and Hollywood historian, offered a heartfelt remembrance. She said, "He had a heart as big as a mountain. He loved his friends deeply. His life was not always easy, but he lived it with courage." Others who had worked with or known Jay through advocacy circles shared similar thoughts, reflecting on his warmth, honesty, and his passion for helping others behind the scenes. On social media, hashtags like Jay North and Dark Dennis, the Menace Forever, began trending within hours. Fans shared black and white stills from the show, clips of Dennis's most lovable pranks, and personal reflections on what Jay's character had meant to them growing up. One fan tweeted, "Jay North made us laugh when life felt heavy. He reminded us what it meant to be curious, wild, and full of heart." Others posted side-by-side photos of young Jay and his more recent appearances, offering thanks, respect, and a collective goodbye. It was a moment of generational connection. From boomers to Gen Xers to nostalgic millennials, everyone remembered Dennis, and through that memory, they remembered Jay, a boy on the screen, a man behind the scenes, a legacy now etched in time. While Dennis the Menace concluded its original run in 1963, its influence endured. The series became a staple in syndication, introducing Jay North's portrayal of the mischievous Dennis Mitchell to new audiences over the decades. Networks like Nickelodeon and TV Land re-aired episodes, allowing both nostalgic viewers and newcomers to experience the charm of the Classic sitcom site turn zero search 15 North's embodiment of Dennis set a benchmark for child actors, capturing the essence of youthful innocence and mischief. His performance paved the way for future portrayals of spirited youngsters in media, influencing character archetypes and storytelling approaches in family-oriented programming. The show's success also highlighted the potential of comic strip adaptations, leading to a trend of bringing beloved illustrated characters to life on screen. Beyond the screen, North's candid discussions about the challenges he faced as a child shed light on the complexities of early fame. His openness contributed to a broader conversation about the welfare of young actors in the entertainment industry, emphasizing the need for protective measures and support systems. Turn News 25. In reflecting on Jay North's legacy, it's evident that his impact transcends his on-screen antics. He not only brought joy to millions through his portrayal of Dennis, but also played a pivotal role in shaping discussions about child actors' experiences and rights in Hollywood. As we remember Jay North, we're reminded of the enduring power of storytelling and the indelible marks left by those who bring characters to life. His journey, from the heights of early fame to his later advocacy, offers lessons in resilience, transformation, and the complexities of growing up in the public eye. Do you have cherished memories of watching Dennis the Menace? Perhaps a favorite episode or a moment that resonated with your own childhood experience? Share your reflections and tribute. Let's come together to celebrate the life and legacy of Jay North, ensuring that the joy he brought to many continues to inspire future generations.